So hello and welcome back, everyone. This is going to be the November predictions video. We are going to do some things that are a little bit different because I didn't get a chance to post some of the continuation of the Halloween pick-a-cards, but this November predictions I did want to do because it does go through November till the end of the year. So this is kind of what I did want to start with, and we can talk about what predictions there are, what's in store for everyone. I did and have been wanting to do this video for a while, only because I've been feeling so many strong things lately, and I know that maybe a lot of people have questions that need answering. So we are going to jump right into the video. We have pretty much, we're using the Witch Oracle. We're doing some Mata and Dora Oracle cards. We're using Nightmare Before Christmas tarot cards that I never got a chance to use for the Halloween videos. So we have the Gothic Tarot. We're using a whole bunch of different stuff today to kind of determine what is going to be happening for November and the November predictions. So we're going to jump right into this and go through the video. For those of you who picked group number 1, I will be starting with that group, and obviously you can look at group 2 video or group 3 video for your readings. This November's prediction, I'm starting with the group number 1 with the first crystal ball, then we can do the second one and the third one, and so on and so forth. So group number 1, we're going to jump right into this, and we're going to see kind of what is going on for November predictions. This can be career, love, money, spiritual things, messages, anything like that. We're going to basically jump right into and look into. Okay, so group number 1, we have the number 31, which is rebirth. There's death and all that awakens, for it isn't blissful nor painless. It's a mighty rising, O flame resurrected. So basically what's interesting about this is we talk about obviously right now where we're at group number 1 and where the time is right now is that it is past Halloween. So that technically right now we are in the All Saints Day or All Saints period, which means that that portal that has been open for so long is now beginning to kind of close. We are going into basically November, into the fall months, into things like that. And then, of course, into the winter. What this is denoting is that in November, because that veil was so thin previously, group number 1, there is going to be a rebirth of some kind for all of you. Now, this can be a couple different things. This can mean that someone who you are close with passes on. This could be that there is a situation where a part of yourself is actually dying and being rebirthed, which could be having to do, I think, with your spirituality, group number 1, with what is basically happening. But that is essentially what that does mean, is that you are going to be having a rebirth out of the ashes, is going to be becoming that phoenix type of energy that is kind of going to be rebirthing and giving you a new opportunity of some kind, which we can try and see what that opportunity is. But this rebirth is very important. A lot of you, group number 1, I feel like in November, you really, really want change to occur. You want to become a different person, but not just a different person, but a better version of the person that you are. And I think it's because you just want to have a different perspective on what is going on in life, and just kind of out with the old in with the new, sort of a saying. So I kind of do sense that strongly, group number 1, that is where this reading is heading or starting. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah. So we have the spider. I'm not surprised by this. So what a wild web we weave, dear child, a delicious mystery that's untamed. So the spider is kind of indicative of a couple different things. One, a spider can mean community. It can mean weaving a web, as in hardworking, as in breaking down of something, as in rebuilding something. So what's interesting about this is we have the rebirth, and then we do have the spider. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but spiders usually once they are towards the end of their life, they will wrap themselves, towards the end of their life to kind of, cover themselves. I think that this is interesting because with this situation, it is showing that you yourselves, group number one, for November, are going to be weaving a different situation for yourselves, a different web. There is going to be a part of you, a very big spiritual part of you that is going to dissipate, that is no longer going to be there, that is no longer going to be overworking itself or overthinking or overfeeling or it's just going to just go and do it, basically. Whatever it is, I have yet to determine, but in reality, group number one, you guys are really, really wanting to build up something out of the dust of what has settled before in the rebirth. So we're going to take a look and see what else do we have here. Okay. So this is just a clear indication to me that yes, something is needing to be built that is more spiritually adequate for your situation. So we have the altar here, which is a sacred devotion, a worship skin deep rising from the ash. Like I said before with the rebirth, you guys, group number one, the waters you keep. So this is a very important thing here that's happening with this altar, because of course we have from the ashes that you are rising, group number one, in whatever you're doing. However, the thing is that the old community ties or old friendship ties or old relationship ties that you had, where you were constantly trying to weave a web or weave something for someone else, that is all dissipating, because with the altar we have something that is for yourself that you are using to connect with spirit, that you are using to channel this spiritual energy through from an altar, from a place of giving and reciprocating, from a place of building up something that is very, very important to you, group number one, and very sacred to you, group number one. Now, the other thing is too, is that if you are talking about relationships here, the altar is kind of indicative of marriage, of that type of solidification of a relationship. So if you all are looking to do that and to be rebirthed in that situation, it is also indicative that there is a symbiotic relationship happening between your divine masculine energies and your divine feminine energies, group number one, because you are making that altar for yourself. You are no longer going to be, poisoned, so to speak, by everyone else around you. You are going to build this yourself, or build this dream, if you will, build a house almost, build something for yourself spiritually on the inside, group number one. That is going to be coming to you in November. Yeah, reflection. So I'm not surprised about this either, because of a couple different things that's happening here. So be wary of things you believe to see with eyes wide shut, for they are mirrors of the maddened truths only spoken with a bleeding tongue. So this is interesting about reflection. So a couple different things here that I can see or foresee happening, group number one. Reflection is very, very powerful. Just like rebirth is powerful in one aspect, reflection is also powerful in another aspect. So this is kind of where I take this with reflection. I think that a lot of you have had a very difficult past year, have had a lot of difficult circumstances that have kind of, got you off your game. You can't really figure out what you're doing. You can't figure out what you want to build, where you want to go next, what is basically happening in your life. I also do sense, group number one, that a lot of you have had some negative relationships, be it, romantic ones or not romantic ones, that have just really, really challenged you in so many different ways, that there is a part of you that there is a loneliness that is setting in, especially with that spider energy. There's a loneliness. So now, after building up what you've wanted to build up with the altar and kind of protecting yourself, group number one, you are in a state of reflection. You are in a state of looking back at the past, seeing what worked for you, seeing what didn't. You're reflecting on maybe the choices that you made in this rebirth. You might be changing something completely about yourselves, group number one, in November. You really, really might I see this type of change as being so powerful for you, group number one, but also for your own spiritual essence. I think that there's a lot going on that you really do want to rebirth what you are doing. You are sick of the old habits. You're sick of the old ways. You really want to start anew in any type of situation that has to do with that. You are looking to better yourself. And this came from all of this reflection that you have been doing the whole entire time. What is going to be right for me? Am I seeing things truthfully and clearly in all aspects of my life? And for you, if you are not, because you've been in too many webs of deception, too many, what a tangled web we weave when we practice, when you have people deceiving you. There's a lot of things that can be happening that is forcing you to take a different look or a different stance at your life, group number one, and then to go ahead and change it. We can see what kind of circumstances are going on here just so that I can get a better idea of what's happening. And then we can do some clarification. The nice thing with the Moonology cards is that we can kind of maybe get a time frame of when this can be occurring, this rebirth process. I mean, again, we know that this stuff is going to happen in November. We just don't know when it could be occurring. Hopefully that card will stay up there, you guys. So we have, okay. Yeah, so we have the Gibbous Moon. So this new beginning, if you guys do want to look this up, you definitely can. I'm not familiar of when it's going to be. But the Gibbous Moon is very important because, again, we see that kind of power there. So you're very close to achieving your goal, which is very interesting because with this rebirth and with the fact that you're achieving some type of goal, I have to say, this could be about a job, a career that you've been looking to invest in, your time, your energy, your money. You could also be achieving a goal of, betterment for yourself, for spirit, for trying to get a home, trying to get a place of your own, trying to basically get a new relationship. Something is happening where this rebirth is going to happen in November and you are going to achieve the goal that you had set for yourself. Whenever the Gibbous Moon is a good time to look this up, group number one, to see about what the time frame would be for that. But this new change is going to bring you into a situation where you can achieve that goal that you have been wanting for so long. With the altar, it's finally going to be coming through there. So we do have that kind of energy, just so that you know. And that reflection too has helped you to kind of set that goal even before November happens. So this goal has been going on for a while, group number one, where you have just wanted to have and to reach this goal. And I feel like you have all been planning on this rebirth, this breaking down of something for a very long time. From that rising to the ashes, this has been going on for a very long time. To clarify this, we have the chimera, chimera, whatever. Imagination clouds your judgment. So this is just a couple different things that are happening here too, along with reflection. Reflection is very important, you guys, because mirrors are very much a sacred object. They are able to see truths and untruths. And the thing is that because you're so close to reaching your goal, you can't allow what you think is going to happen versus the reality to cloud your judgment. You have to make a sound decision in the change that you are seeking. Just because you are achieving a goal does not mean that that is the end all be all of the process for you, group number one. In November, you will come to realize what your fantasies are versus the realities of how does that set into place. How do you get a career that you're looking for, start a new situation in a new town, a new job, a new career, a new home? How is that logically feasible for you to obtain versus you imagining that you're going to be a millionaire and, have all this money, have all these people around you, and instead of using the fantasy as the only ways of getting there, starting to use the realistic truth is much better than not, group number one. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting too, because we have the Knight of Swords or the Knave of Swords, which is the problem is with this rebirth process, group number one, you guys have really, really wanted to kind of go in kind of steadfast, go in hard, go into the change hard, make this possibility for yourself no matter what the costs are mentally or physically to your emotional body. And the problem is, group number one, is that type of energy, that air energy that you have, stoking the fire energy here, that air, that Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius energy, it's very, very hard to kind of get a solid earthly footing, a grounding, because you are so caught up, group number one, in the imagination and the way that stuff is going to play out, that some of you are just going to be gung-ho to go in and change and do things. But the problem is the rebirth process takes a little bit longer than we would like to admit, even for yourself. So this rebirthing, you're expecting it to be a relatively quick and painless mental process, but that is not always the case. And there might be some immaturity on your level, group number one, for thinking that you can just kind of go through things as quickly as you are. The rebirth process is a process of spirit, and there is a reason for that. Yeah, see, so I kind of was sensing that energy too, because we have the Fool here. So there might be a lot of you that this is occurring, where this new beginning is occurring out of something that was either foolish that you had committed, group number one, or that you just couldn't see in your reflections the complete and total truth. When we talk about the Fool, we talk about someone who is just kind of going over the edge without really thinking, without really knowing what the true fact is, without knowing the knowledge and the power that spirit has over every single person, that you are just ready and willing to jump into the rebirthing process without thinking it through mentally, having some type of clarity. Now, the other thing is that you all might have been thrusted into this new beginning because of the fact that something had happened so dramatically to you, either a divorce, a separation from a loved one, separation from a career, something of that nature has happened to you to the point where you are having no choice but to go through the change, or you can't really think about it. You just have to kind of go through it, which is very, very difficult. So we do have the Knight of Potions, which is the same as the Knight of Cups. So interesting here that we have two knights. We have the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups, which shows that even though you are going in pretending, group number one, that this rebirth is a mental process and that it's logical, you have it all together, you have this all down, in reality, group number one, your emotions are not matching up with your words or your feelings. So for example, what I'm gathering from spirit is you're saying one thing to your friends and family, you're saying one thing to close people, but what you're really feeling inside is all hell breaking loose. And that's a lot because you can't get your mind and your physical body or your emotions to kind of be intact. Thus, the reason why with this rebirth, you are kind of going into it a little foolishly by thinking that this will just automatically change all the problems that are going on in your life, which means that you have to become more emotionally sound, more emotionally together with yourself. Yeah. So in retrospect, from this rebirth, what you're going to be getting is the King of Cups or the King of Potions, which basically means that after all of this, if you can learn to master your feelings, your emotions so strongly, group number one, you will overcome that Knight of Swords energy. Now, the Knight of Swords is basically lessons also too. You will overcome the pain or the hardship towards this new rebirth that you are feeling if you can become one with your emotions and your emotional state, and to have that, King of Cups energy, that Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer energy, energy, you're more able to feel and to kind of be soothed a little bit by that versus just the mental capacity where you might be saying to yourself, I have to mentally go through this. The process is going to be painful. It is what it is, but there is a part of you that is very scared of this rebirth, very scared of this process. I don't know if a lot of you are disconnected from a lover, disconnected from a family, something of that nature. This is not anything that's small. You are about to change your whole entire life, group number one. That is not an easy feat. So we have the spider energy and we have the south node. So don't let your past hold you back. Clearly for this reflection, group number one, in November, reflection is going to be very important towards this process. So with the south node, we're talking about where we have been, the community, the connections, the web that you are weaving in the past is no longer what is going to serve you now, group number one. You are moving towards that north node energy from the south. So you have to let that go with the past of what is happening. Yeah, so we have the black cat, so your luck will soon change. What's interesting to me is that with this whole situation of, we talk about witchcraft or practicing or, that elemental magic. It's interesting because the spider and the black cat are very, very much a part of that. They are a part of a transformation of change. But also the black cat, the goddess Bast, it's considered very, very lucky, very prosperous. The spider also too, with the collecting of something, that you are going to be collecting something, group number one, in some type of way. And there we go. And we have the Four of Candles or the Four of Wands, because here is the thing. There is victory somewhere in this situation. There is victory that is happening somewhere for you, in regards to this rebirth, in regards to this change that is going to become extremely, extremely apparent. We also have here the Temperance, okay? So we talked a lot about with the altar work, with the patience of what that means. So when we're tempering something, we are taking two parts of something that are completely different, much like Sally's doing in this picture, and we are tempering them out. We are showing that Aquarian energy there, and we're also showing that Libra energy from the air. So it's called balancing out what is happening with this victory or what is happening within yourself and balancing those energies out. Yeah, so again, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knave of Swords, is the Page of Swords, which would denote a new beginning mentally, and mental clarity is what I mean. Mental clarity will come through there. It will become apparent that there is a new beginning that's needed. And then you have this Knight of Swords energy, which is what I explained here, of going in for the kill, going in for everything, with any type of mental and, physical force or physical feeling that's going to bring about this change with that spider energy. So that's also something to kind of look at. The altar of what we have here for the oracle. So believe in the impossible with the blue moon. I have to say, you guys, I think that with these moon processes also too, there is a lot of mystical things happening to you in this change that you really do not see yourself going any further in this situation other than where you're at right now. What this is telling you is with this altar, all things are possible. If you build it, things will come. And of course, we have that affirmation from Spirit with the spider energy yet again. So be meticulous and patient. There is a reason why, you guys, you are getting this spider energy, and it's because of the fact that you have been working so hard to build up your own situation. Do not let someone else or let any type of negative, dark energy alter what you're trying to do in November. If you are trying to build up a career for yourself, if you've been trying to build up this promotion perhaps, or if you're trying to build, a comfortable house to live in, whatever you're trying to do. And also with the altar, there's a lot of goal setting. So I don't know if a lot of you are trying to set personal goals and then reflect upon them. You have to be patient with this energy and believe that the impossible can be possible for you. Yes, so we have the King of Candles or the King of Wands. There is that type of creative mastering of energies. You guys are the wishcraft people. You wish things to you. You have the ability to feel passionately, to feel connected. That altar, that fire energy is so apparent there with the King of Wands, that there is something happening where you can master your emotions and master that passion that you have, that drive to make the change. You just have to be patient about it. So we do have death. I'm not surprised because now we have the death card. We have the rebirth also. This is self-explanatory, you guys. The altar that you're building is literally the funeral pyre that is going to help you to move on, to become a part of this rebirth process. There is a part of you, I want to say that this is more the spiritual part of you, group number one, more of the part that makes you up. Like with this spider energy with part of the community and with friends and family who you've been with in the past. If you're more of the loner type, group number one, again, because this is a generalized reading, it's not for everyone. You might also too feel that there is a part of you that is no longer, that there is a part of you where you are more outgoing. You are willing to be in groups, you are willing to move away. I see the move away thing, move away from a community, move away from a very desperate situation or a dark situation. We have the Queen of Swords. So we also have that balancing out of that masculine and feminine energy when it comes to the mental capacity that we have to do things. So from the night you are going to become the queen, you're going to basically slash through any challenges that you have, both with mental clarity and with the truth in November, which brings you to the reflection of where you have been in this process. There is a part of you that is going to be lost forever, but there is a new part of you with this rebirth that is going to be found, and you are not going to be the same person. Yes, emotions are running high with the super moon. I'm really kind of also sensing, guys, that this could really be a lot about change and overcoming change, and just the fact that you guys are really, really putting your all into something. This can also denote a breakup, a separation from something that you are looking to gain more access to or reflect upon. Was that the right decision that I needed to make? And the truth is it was, because this would not be happening, the rebirth process, if you did not have to make that decision. Yes, the hourglass time is of the essence, meaning that if you want to be patient for what you want with the spider energy, you are going to get more out of your reflections, more out of the truth of what you're seeking, if you understand that time is of the essence for things to occur. You cannot rush the change process of what is happening here. Yeah, so we have the King of Swords, which I really think, group number one, if you all just kind of relaxed a little bit and understood that yes, there are certain things that you can control and there are certain things that you cannot control. And in November, I think that that's going to be a very, very poignant thing, because it's going to move you on to where you are from a knight to a queen to finally the king in this situation, mastering a lot of that air type of energy, giving you wings, making you fly, making you feel like you have control over what is going on in your life and the new change that you want to be. And I have to say, group number one, I think in November, you guys really, really are going to change very, very much. You're not going to be the same person that you once were, and people are going to have to accept that of you. Accept that you are going to be different. And we do have that Eight of Pentacles energy, which is very, very, prosperous, happiness, feeling fulfillment, feeling that you are in the place that you are meant to be at the end of this whole situation. And I think that November is just the start, you guys, for all of this going on, for the rebirth and the death. I think it has to do with a lot of yourself as a person, group number one, being able to change for the better, being able to move forward in the future. And this is going to go on for most of November, where you're going to be tugging with the will to change, the will to need, the will to go on. And that is going to be a part of your rebirthing process, where you are not going to be the same person. And of course, we have the Four of Swords, which is very, very important to know, because there is a lot of you out there who feel that your final message is really going to determine of what kind of energy do you want to surround yourself in. Do you want to surround yourself in the energy that could be plaguing you, or do you want to surround yourself in the positive energy? But either way, there is a lot of mental things, I feel like, group number one, that all of you need to work through. There's a lot of mental clarity that needs to happen. The problem is that it's not the right time for this to be occurring. And with that Four of Swords energy, it's kind of saying for that wish or that final message that there are things that you cannot control, group number one. As much as you would like to control it, it is the universe that sets us on the path. It is the universe that does things for us. And because you are feeling so strongly that you have to take these lessons and run with them, now is not the time for you to put up the sword or to fight or to, make a spectacle out of something, because the truth is you don't have enough information to reflect upon at this point, and that you need to kind of let yourself go with the death, or like have a part of you die so that you can, be rebirthed, because not everything you thought was going to happen is happening, group number one. So in November, you're going to realize that can change, and it will change for you in November, that you will be able to find that connection, that you can, be patient, but at the same time, you're going to feel a lot of that Swords energy, or wanting to look for mental clarity or mental purpose about the change. So group number one, I really do hope that these predictions for November helped. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel so that I can get more videos out, see what people are kind of interested in. I am really going to sit down and probably try and revamp some things with this channel that I like, and some things that I don't like or are not working. So please, again, give me comments down below of what you think I should change. I want to do some definitely different videos for all of you, and hopefully we can get this whole thing going with the channel in a different type of way or a different light. But again, I hope to talk to you all soon.